Hello everybody. Good evening. Welcome. Lovely to see you all. So, Jez, welcome to the Mindfulness Group. Do you know anything about mindfulness, or you know a bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I practiced some a couple of years ago.
Right. Okay.
I had about 8.5 months off work, and I read John Williams, Mark Williams.
Yeah.
And then I got into John Kabat-Zinn.
Good man.
But I've got out of practice now.
Right.
So against on air.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Well, the purpose of the group is to just to help people to develop a little bit of practice of their own. We don't do really lengthy meditation or anything like that. It's all quite casual, and the aim is that the little exercises that we do, people can take away and develop and practice in their own time. And then every week we have a theme, a topic, and we have a little bit of a discussion and a chat around that, and just explore how it relates to mindfulness, or how mindfulness relates to that, and how it relates to our lives, and just sort of generally have a little bit of fun and a chat.
Yeah, it's good.
It's all very relaxed.
I had actually the website last night.
Okay, good.
Yeah, demonstration.
Hey, Nick. Oh, I need another chair.
Oh, that's not
Thank
Didn't say it on again.
I know, it's always I didn't want to miss it again. Brownie, oh yeah, the cold, the chair's really cold.
They've been out the back, so they're especially chilled. It's alright if your hemorrhoids play, not Right. Oh, this is nice. Right. Well, we'll start with a little exercise, and then we'll get into talking about our topic for this week, which is chaos. It was random chaos, but it's I suppose more generally it's just chaos. Back to one word. We had some lengthy topics, or wordy topic subjects in the past few weeks, and I've condensed it back down again. But let's begin. We'll begin with our little sitting exercise, and then we'll take it from there. So we start by just having a look around and just seeing what we can see in this moment in time right now. I'll go and get another chair. Hey, Sarah, come in. Sorry. No, you're all right. We were just having a little look around.
More looking at you.
Taking any chances with the cold tonight.
I don't think it's going to get you.
It's not going to get you. Thank you.
You're on the edge.
Next to you.
Don't think it.
Yeah.
Sudden movements.
Thank you.
So we were just having a look around. We just started our sitting exercise, so we were just looking to see what we could see in this moment, engaging the first of our senses. And then when we've had a little look around, you can close your eyes and you can bring your awareness to what you can feel, so the weight of your body. So you can be aware of your body pressing back against the backrest of the chair, pressure against your back. Aware of the pressure on your bottom as your bottom is pulled down into the seat by gravity. Aware of your feet in contact with the floor. and just more generally aware of the mass of your body. Gravity pulling down through the shoulders, down through the arms. Aware of the fabric of your clothes against your skin. And aware of the movement of air. So on your face, on your hands, you can just feel a very faint movement. And we can take a nice breath through the nose and just be aware of smell. And then aware of the taste in your mouth. And finally, become aware of sound and listening. And if your mind wanders whilst you're listening, it doesn't matter, just acknowledge that your mind has wandered, or thoughts and ideas have popped into your head. And just bring the awareness very gently back to listening. So it's chaos this week, and the seed for that topic was sown last week when Carol mentioned that she'd had her grandchildren with her over half term, and it reminded me of my own situation at home, with my own children running around being chaotic. So we have chaos in our lives, do we not? Who has chaos in their lives?
Oh,
Anybody care to offer any examples of chaos? No, I'm here to get away from all that. Forget about the chaos.
No, I'm not going.
Go on then.
Welcome officer. Chaos. I work for the electricity company, and what I do now, I patrol the lines, check the assets, and go to through scripts and send them off in the airwaves on a handheld computer. And look, I'm getting pushed for numbers output. So today I stopped and had a cup of tea on a roadside cafe, and then I went to Wareham and Romney Marsh. I had an appointment at 12 o'clock at Aylesbury, which didn't go too well. It went okay. So I had to sort of, this involved time, because I'm checking time, with the sat nav. So this is pressure that I'm putting myself under or whatever. Then I had to come back to Wareham, and then I had to come home. And it was all about traffic on the road, and time, and making my own pressure really. And that, I've got out of mindfulness. I'm aware I've got out of mindfulness.
Yeah.
I just shared that a week ago Saturday, I went in the back garden in the morning, and I was just so aware of everything going on, a bird chirping, a baby crying, and I thought, okay. And I could just hear the traffic, and I could hear it. I was open to it.
Yeah. And
after that minute or two, I went indoors, and it's sort of left me ever since. I've not been aware of it. So I think I've been sort of gone with it really.
Okay.
But that going back to chaos, that's my chaos.
So you felt that chaos today. So and there's a few things that come from that. So we've got so the first is a busyness. You know, there's a lot going on. You know, there's all these things that you have to do, and we can talk about doing. It's one of my pet topics. So there's a busyness there. There's cramming things in. There is time constraints. So things being chaotic because there are restrictions of time. Pressure as well, external influences. You know, you mentioned that your superiors are putting pressure on you, which compounds that feeling of chaos. Then there was, you mentioned other external influences, so things that were outside of your control, things like the traffic, which in itself can feel quite chaotic and contributes to the chaos of the situation. And I suppose I've mentioned control and things being in or out of your control, and that contributes to it as well, doesn't it? Things feel chaotic if you feel that you don't have control of them, you don't have a handle on them. Does that all resonate with everybody else? I think it does, doesn't it? All of those things, the busyness, the pressures, the time constraints, the external influences, and things being generally felt to be out of control, all compact, and they build up, don't they? It stacks up in layers.
Also eating lunch on the way on a drive.
Yeah.
Not tasting food, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's it. Yeah. So it can be very difficult to be mindful when there's that chaos and it's overwhelming, and then the brain starts dwelling on things and preventing you from being aware. I suppose that, is there a worry that you'll miss things? Is there a worry that you'll not fulfil your duties to the best of your ability because you're... Yeah.
The duties more.
Yeah.
The duties more. Yeah.
And I think I feel like going back to the parenting thing, because parenting is a chaotic situation, and you don't want to feel neglectful, do you? You don't want to think that you've missed something, or that, somebody hasn't eaten when they should have eaten, or done their homework when they should have done their homework, or remembered their PE kit when they should have remembered their PE kit, and all that chaos that goes with it. Okay, so to begin with, the general perception of chaos is that it's potentially quite damaging, quite negative. It can have quite a negative impact on us. It can certainly make us feel overwhelmed, it can make us feel pressurised, it can make us feel fatigued. So
I certainly feel like that when the grandkids are gone.
Exactly, yeah, fatigue.
Absolutely spaced out.
Yeah, because it's overwhelming, and it's overwhelming on so many levels, isn't it? You know, if you think about chaotic situation, like first thing that comes to mind is like a room full of kids running around. You can imagine that as a chaotic situation.
But then, sorry, I was just because I've done some time, it was completely chaotic.
Yeah.
But it was lovely as well.
Yeah.
So it's not always negative, I don't think.
It's not.
Right, okay.
We'll save that. We'll save that.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Because that's nice, because that means we've got something that we can also refer to in a moment. Yeah, good. Room full of kids. If there's chaos, you know, you've got a room full of children running around, it's loud, there's lots of movement, and so the exercise we've just done is about engaging the senses, and when things are chaotic, the senses can sometimes feel overwhelmed. There's too much stimulus, there's too much noise, there's too much activity and too much movement, too much to think about, too much to try and be aware of, and our poor little simple human brains just can't cope with that level of activity and stimulus and responsibility and everything that goes with it. So in that respect, chaos can be fairly negative and a bad thing. Let's do another little exercise and then we'll talk some more about chaos. Let's do a little bit of breathing now. We like to breathe. Mindfulness. The Mindful Group likes to breathe. It's good. So if you could please just close your eyes if you wish. I'll invite the bowl to sound as well while we breathe. Close your eyes if you wish. You don't have to. You can keep them open. But just bring the awareness to the breath at the nostrils. Just be aware of each individual breath as it happens in and out. Follow the awareness back to the back of the throat and actually be aware of the movement of air behind the soft palate in the neck. Now follow it down to the top of the chest, the breastplate, and now becoming aware of the physical movement, the expansion and contraction, the rise and fall of the chest as you breathe in and out, just following each breath as it happens, just at the top of the chest. Become aware of the breath down at the diaphragm, the base of the lungs, and feel that rise and fall, contraction and expansion, with each breath as it happens. Now connect the whole system together. So you're aware of the air entering at the nostrils, going down through the back of the throat, through the chest, down to the base, the diaphragm, and then all the way out again. For the next few moments, just follow that complete cycle. I thought it would be prudent to have a little bit of a look into the subject of chaos. Not that I'm one for doing preparation particularly, but I did spend 2 minutes just having a look. And because I'm aware of chaos theory. Has anybody heard of chaos theory? So this is I suppose, relatively new branch of science and mathematics and mathematical thinking and practice. And it is very much about trying to understand systems and things which are thought of as being chaotic. There's a lot of natural phenomena that are chaotic. It relates to things like the butterfly effect. And it's about whether you can predict what's going to happen. Given an initial set of circumstances, can we predict how they will develop and how they will manifest and what the end result will be? Because there's a particular branch of mathematics and thinking is that you can take two starting points which are very, very close together. Can be really close together, but as the activity unfolds, as it all extrapolates out, the actual endpoints can be completely different. The resolution points are so far removed that you wouldn't have thought that they could have come from a point that was where they were so close together. So they're developing that thinking, and they're trying to use that in order to see whether everything can be mapped out. And this relates back to what we were talking about the other week. We started talking about whether things happen for a reason, whether we believe that everything is mapped out. Because there's some argument that says yes. From this point, we could predict everything that will happen. Every possible scenario can be predicted from this point in time. We can measure that. We can use all of this chaos theory. We can determine what the likely outcome is going to be. And you can tie that into fate if you believe in fate, or you can tie that into a belief in some greater power that has everything preordained for us. If you choose to, it's entirely up to you. So you can go down that route, or you can believe that you can't. Whilst you can try to predict everything, chaos will have its way, and chaos will intervene. And there was another element that I was looking at, which was to do with randomness. And there was a piece about the shuffle mode on people's iPods. Does anybody listen to music on an iPod or on their phone? And you can put it into shuffle, and it will just select songs from your library, and it will just play them. And there was a period in time, it was a little while ago, when people believed that the shuffle function wasn't as random as they made it out to be. They said, well, it can't. It's not random. This isn't chaos. These songs that they're playing to me in this order, it's not random. It's not. There's something else going on. And they looked into this, and they found that actually that our brain's perception of what is random and what is chaos isn't the same as actual random chaos. You know, in terms, if you think about the songs being played from your library of music, our idea of them being played randomly is for them to be played spread out, you know, a selection of different artists and different songs all spread out, and so you'll get, you know, if you've got jazz and classical and pop and rock on your iPod, it'll play a bit of classical, then it'll play a bit of this and play a bit of that, and it'll all just spread out nicely. Well, that's not random. That's not. That's us trying to apply an order to the randomness. So we struggle to embrace what is truly random. Our perception of what is truly random and chaotic doesn't follow. Okay. So we started off by thinking about when it's negative, when it's overwhelming, when it's out of control. Then there's all this theory regarding mathematics and trying to predict and trying to determine resolutions, and then there's our own brain's perception of what random is and what chaos is. So let's move on to when it can possibly be a good thing. So you said that you had an incident.
Well,
or should I rephrase that? What's your case study?
I was invited to the Brownies group tonight.
Yes.
I was running late, all went over very long. But it was their entertainment lounge.
Right.
And it was absolutely chaotic. Some children hadn't got together to be ours, and that kind of, so it was just, but it was lovely. It was really, you know, and I knew I had to sit, you know, I was thinking, oh, I've got to go and do that, but actually it was really lovely, and it was lovely to see these children in their chaos, you know, in their. But then talking, well, you've said, would you say anything is really random?
Well, that's it.
Or chaotic? No, you have to answer that now.
I don't know, because I'm just the fella that sits here and talks nonsense every day. I don't have the answers. You have the answers.
I think you're right. I think it is what it is. I mean, I think humans try to make something over the different music genres. You know, we try to make some pattern to it.
We do.
So we can be attached to the pattern.
Yeah.
We
rather than just let it be as it should be, as it unfolds.
We like patterns, don't we? We like routine. We like things to be predictable. We take comfort from things being predictable, from things having a pattern, from knowing that the alarm clock will go off at this point in time, and then we'll do this, then we can have lunch, and then we can do this, and then we can cook some dinner, and then we can all be tucked up in bed by 10 o'clock, whatever time it is at night, and it all follows that lovely routine, and we know where we are, and we can take reassurance and solace from the fact that we know where we are in space and time. Are you misbehaving? Stop bringing chaos to this group. However, we like the patterns, we like the routine, we like to know where we are in space and time according to our preordained plan and routine, and the patterns that our brain likes to place on everything. But there are moments when, as Julie said, chaos can be quite fun.
I enjoy the chaos of the grandchildren,
yeah,
but it's still chaos.
Sometimes we like that bit of unknowing, uncertainty, that little spark of spontaneity.
It's stimulating.
And then there are other occasions. Who likes to walk along the beach and listen to the sound of the waves as they break? Now, you could argue that there's a fairly rhythmic, predictable feel to the cycle of waves, but if you think about the sound on the stones, as the wave breaks on the stones and it goes back, that's a chaotic sound. All of those frequencies that are generated by the motion of the water on the stones, there's chaos to that. Whilst you can certainly, I suppose, you could apply some of those mathematical formulas and things that I was talking about before and look at trajectories and all the rest of it, but generally there's an element of chaos to that. There are who likes to sit around a bonfire and just watch the flames. You know, when I was a kid, sometimes you can just sit for hours, can't you? And just watch the flames of a real fire or of a bonfire flickering. That's chaos.
Fish tank.
Fish tank, yeah. You know, the fish are pretty chaotic, I suppose, in their own way.
Not swimming where I want them to.
But that's it. You don't go. Exactly. So there are instances there: fires, waves, fish, and I'm sure there are probably others. The weather. Well, that's a good one. That's the one that came up when I was looking at chaos theory. They use that to help with climate and weather, because the way it all works up in the stratosphere and everything, up in the atmosphere, and how it all moves around and how clouds form.
But they are predicting it.
They are, but with some degrees of success.
And then a big new supercomputer to work it out even better.
That's it. But there's still huge amounts of that which are chaotic, so to speak. But there's something quite relaxing for us, isn't there, about engaging with that? That sitting on the beach, listening to that chaotic sound, and just accepting
letting go
it.
of control.
Exactly right. And watching the flames of a fire flicker and do their random chaotic thing. Watching the kids, as under-rehearsed and ill-prepared as they are, just making it up as they go along. And just accepting it and being with it. It's an escape.
Yeah.
And actually we do, as human beings, gravitate towards those things because their very nature is chaotic, and it gives us that release and allows us to not be applying our patterns to everything and not be demanding that everything follows our predetermined plan of activity, and it allows us that escape. And the reason why those are so powerful is because they're very mindful activities. You sitting, watching the kids, you just got into the moment. I accept that. I accept that in this moment I can't.
I want to join.
There was no point in thinking, we need to script all this. You need to stop doing that. You need to do this. No, just let it be what it is. You can't take hold of the sea and make the waves break in the way you want them to break, or make the sound be generated in the way. You just accept it for what it is. When the fire's flickering, you just are in the moment, engaged, aware, and just allowing it to do its thing and being mindful. When you're in the garden on that Saturday and the baby's crying and the birds are tweeting and there's that moment of peace, it's just a mindful moment. So, hopefully, the point that we have managed to steer ourselves to in a fairly random way, less random way, maybe, is that there's mindfulness in chaos. Or if we are mindful in chaos, it can actually be quite rewarding and quite relaxing. And that's one of the fundamental principles of mindfulness, is that if you can bring an acceptance and an awareness of and to the chaos that surrounds us, and just be with it and accept it, then there are rewards to be had. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to feel overburdened. You don't have to feel that you need to apply your pattern to it. Just allow the patterns of chaos to just be as they are in this moment, and use it as a tool for your own mindful practice. Okay, let's finish with another little exercise. And we'll bring it back to breathing again. And what I'd like you to do is just do the Tommy Cooper light zombie pose. And just hold the hands in front of you, just very lightly. Connect with your breath. Be aware of the breath in and out. And as you breathe, connect your breath with your fingertips. So it's almost as if it feels like you're breathing in through your fingertips and out through your fingertips. So your hands and your fingers are connected with your breath. And you're aware of your hands, you're aware of the life within your hands, and aware that your breath, which sits at the very centre of your being, of your aliveness, is connected. That the breath somehow is flowing through the fingertips. For the next few moments, just breathe, follow each breath and connect it with the fingertips. As you maintain that connection, that awareness of the breath through the fingertips, become aware of the three component parts of the breath. You breathe in, you breathe out, and the air leaves your body, and then there is a pause. Breathe in, you breathe out, and there is a pause. Just follow each of those three components and allow yourself to just relax into that pause, to just be alive in that pause between breaths. We're not human doings, we're not human thinkings, we're human beings. And in this moment, you're just being alive. You're never more alive than you are in that pause between breaths. photo of you also.
Is there anybody there?
So your homework for this week, if you need any homework, is to accept the chaos, wherever you may find it. Or you don't have to find it; it will find you. Just accept it, and by accepting it, it will not overwhelm you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you all, and see you next week.
Thank you.
I won't-